شاشة USB. Republic of Nigeria. He has been a governor of Bayelsa State, and during his tenure, there were several transformations in the governance of Bayelsa State. Ladies and gentlemen, joining as I introduce to you His Excellency, the Honorable Minister of Petroleum Resources. I'm talking about His Excellency Tini Silva. Please put your hands together for him. Welcome to the meeting. Thank you, sir. Let me also very specially introduce to you the acting vice chancellor and the one at the helm of affairs of this great entrepreneurial university of Nigeria. I am talking about the acting vice chancellor of University of Portugal. Please pay attention, students. I am talking about the one at the helm of affairs that God has placed that has brought stability to the system. I'm talking about the acting vice chancellor, Professor Stephen Okoro. Let me also introduce to you the woman seated next to the acting vice chancellor. She is Dr. Mrs. Agatha Ataga. She is here representing the registry of the University of Portugal. Please put your hands together for her. Let me with all amount of humility introduce you all the bossa of the University of Portugal. She is Dr. Felicia Ayubo. In a related development, let me introduce to you the man at the other side. He's a barrister by training, he's a librarian by training, a man of many parts. He is the acting university librarian. I invite to the guy table here the Dean Graduate Studies, the Dean Faculty of Engineering. I'm talking about Professor Joel Obona. Let me also especially at this point in time invite the guest lecturer to the high table here. He is no other person than the country manager. And he has a lot of experience in this special area. And he is no other person than Engineer Tayo. Okay, coming. Please put a hand together as we invite our guest lecturer to the gathering. Please put your hands together for him, please. All right, thank you very much. We also have very distinguished personalities here. We have a member representing Nemble Branch Federal Constituency, who is also on the entourage of the Honorable Minister. I'm talking about Honorable Gori. He's also here in our midst. Please put a hand together for him. And we also, especially in common, we also have the honorables here. We also have the
like to say one in charge of this program today that has invited us is right here in our midst. I'm talking about the Director of OTI, Offshore Technology Institute. He is Dr. Tobinson Briggs. He's right here with us. May I also specially inform us that we have some representatives of the Senate and the Governing Council of the University of Portugal that are also here in our midst today. May I especially recognize the presence of Professor Owunari Georgewell. He's right here in our midst. May I especially, yes, sir, that is, I'm very careful with the words, but I'm very careful. I said, may I especially, yes. So let me go back to the next one. I'm very careful, a trained journalist. Thank you, sir. Let me introduce to you Professor Clifford Oforum, a member representing the Senate of the University of Port Harcourt. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We also have other members that are here. As they come, I will introduce them to you. Let me especially recognize the presence of our honorables who travel all the way to be a part of this wonderful program. Honorable Priye Oseke, Federal House of Reps, Southern Ijaw Federal Constituency, is also here. Let me also introduce to you Honorable AB, former Bayelsa State House of Assembly member, is also here in our midst. I want to say that you are all welcome. We have a director in charge of World Bank Center of Excellence. I'm talking about Ace Puto is also here. Dr. Ogaji is also here. There are other eminent personalities here. Please don't be offended. As time progresses, I will do proper introduction. Thank you and welcome to the unique University of Port Harcourt. May I especially at this point in time, following the program, invite the acting Vice Chancellor of the University of Port Harcourt, Professor Stephen Okodudu, for an opening address. Please put your hands together for him, please.
Your Excellency, the Honorable Minister of Petroleum Resources, my brother and friend and colleague as well, Mipri Silva and his entourage, principal officers of the university, distinguished guests, the students that were graduating today, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so pleased to see one of the national authorities in the Nigerian political sphere, His Excellency, Chief Mipri Silva, Minister of State for Petroleum Resources. I'm also enthused to receive you industry captains, erudite professors, scholars, and graduates with their parents. It signals the general acceptance of Offshore Technology Institute, University of Port Harcourt. The University of Port Harcourt is very unique in many aspects of the educational trajectory. This second graduation/award ceremony is a testimony of the giant stride of the Offshore Technology Institute, University of Port Harcourt in the sector. The programs in OTI are industry tailored and have produced over 140 graduates in a total of 7 batches. Our graduates are now the major pillars of the oil and gas sector across the globe, with remarkable testimonies from the oil and gas industry about our graduates' capabilities nationally and internationally. The Nigerian Content Development Board and Content Development and Monitoring Board, Technip FMC, and others have been highly supportive of the activities at the Offshore Technology Institute. Unfortunately, the Offshore Technology Institute is still operating at a temporary site facility, as you could see this morning when we went around, Your Excellency. However, the University of Port Harcourt has efforts to ensure that the Institute operates a permanent site. In this regard, the Institute has been allocated and a land surveyed just behind this venue for that purpose. Therefore, The Offshore Technology Institute is in dire need of magnanimous support to operate in a befitting facility. Ladies and gentlemen, we don't need to emphasize that the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, His Excellency Chief Timothy Receiver, is a well-known philanthropist and he has been supportive of the University of Patacott. In fact, this is a homecoming for the Honorable Minister. We are proud of our alumni. Let me therefore seize this opportunity to kindly remind and request the Honorable Minister about our graduate school building project, which he commenced here in the university when he was the governor of Bayelsa State. Although he had made a commitment to that this morning, but he still insisted for record I should put it in here. Please, we shall be glad as an institution if that project is completed so that we can have ample accommodation for our graduate programs. To our graduates, the sky is your limit because you have all it takes now to succeed even in the oil and gas industry. I personally celebrate with you and wish you the very best in all your future endeavors. Once again, you are welcome to this unique graduation award ceremony of the Offshore Technology Institute. You're welcome, and thank you.
Please, let's put our hands together for the Acting Vice Chancellor of the University of Portugal. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. May I respectfully, at this point in time, invite the Acting Director of OTI, Dr. T.A. Briggs, to please come forward for a special welcome address. Please put your hands together for the Acting Director. Thank you.
Good morning, all. First and foremost, I want to thank God for making this program possible today. I would like to, because of time, I would like to stand on the protocol the Acting Vice Chancellor has established so that I can just go straight to my welcome address. The Offshore Technology Institute is a postgraduate institute, and it was established by the Senate of the University in April 30th, 20. It was established by the University December 2010, I beg your pardon. Today, it's a pleasure for me to see everybody gathered there for the award ceremony for the batch 7 student of the Offshore Technology Institute, University of Patacott. It gladdened my heart to have all partners, colleagues, friends from the university, government, industry, and the church here today, 30th April 2021. Congratulations, batch 7. The staffs and management of Offshore Technology Institute will ever recognize your class as a unique class and a special group of students who face a great challenge as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, which your corporation will have successfully navigated through the challenging situation. May these unique circumstances give you the resilience and inspire you to make the world a better place where you join the labor force. Also, we are very privileged to have with us the spirited and energetic Minister of State for Petroleum Resources and the Acting Vice Chancellor of the University of Patacott. Furthermore, a very warm welcome to our distinguished stakeholders from the industry who have taken off time from their busy schedule to be present and to witness the activities of this great occasion. I hope this event will bring a testimonial of our good products that meet the best world standard. At this point, I would like to give a brief history of the Offshore Technology Institute, University of Patacott. The OTI Uniport was established, as I mentioned earlier, by the Senate of the University, the meeting of 370 meeting of the university, and the Senate gave that approval. But we were able to start the first set of programs in pipeline engineering and offshore engineering. In 2015-2016 section, we started the program in subsea engineering, and which is also supported by Technical FMC. So basically, we have 4 programs programs. We have a master's degree in pipeline engineering, master's degree in offshore engineering, master's degree in subsea engineering, and we also have master's degree in energy access and renewable technology. And that program will kickstart 4th of October 2021. Our curriculum is in partnership with the industry players. They are part of it. They actually tell us what problem they need the university to solve for them. And in partnership with them, we're able to develop the curriculum for the MSc programs in pipeline, offshore, and subsea. Same thing with the energy, the master's program in energy access and renewable energy technology. For that program, because of the intensity of the program, that program is run for 18 months. It's the only program we have now that is running for 18 months. The other programs are for 12 months. And the energy program is to also contribute and solve the problem of energy access in Nigeria. I also want to thank the industry partners that also take our students in internship and also co-teach with us. Since we came on board, my team, we were able to accomplish some milestones we've covered. First and foremost, we're able to attract more collaborations, organize industry academic seminars, establish libraries with e-presentation facilities, introduce e-learning into the OTI. And that's why we're able to graduate the set we are graduating, because we've prepared for e-learning before the COVID issue came on board. So it was a good smoothing ground for us, and we didn't stop the program from proceeding, and we're able to graduate the set we're celebrating today. We're able to renovate our classrooms and the canteens where the students have their lunch. We're able to register with Octan, that the Oil and Gas Trainers Association of Nigeria. We established an applied mathematics studio in collaboration with industries to solve industry problem. I will procure equipment for our parent departments and programs like mechatronics. We'll procure pneumatic equipment for them, and also install a 10 kV solar system so that we have uninterrupted power supply. It's connected in a way that even when the grid power goes off, it doesn't shut down the systems. Our way forward. The Institute will seek academic and industry accreditations for it to be more visible in the globe. And such accreditations we are looking at from NUC, Korean, and all professional bodies. We seek for the construction of each administrative building, to set up a world-class laboratory to solve the industry problems. A dedicated classroom for a full option e-learning facility, and also to establish a consultancy, OTI consultancy unit. The center, one of our driving force is because we are disciplined in dealing with our issues, and our students can also attest for that. All this we're mentioning, we are also proposing an administrative building that can house all these energy programs. Because of our present facilities, as the program is growing, it's not suitable for us again. And so we have made a proposal to the university, and the university has graciously also given us a land, and the survey plan will also be displayed on the slide. So I want to beg industry partners, government agency, and professional bodies to be part of this. It's my profound gratitude goes to the Minister of State and the acting vice chancellor and the principal officers of the University of Patacott for finding time from their busy schedules to attend this memorable event. Also, big thanks to the deans, the directors, the head of departments, the professors, and colleagues here present. Our industry friends, policymakers, you are welcome. We much appreciate your support thus far. Once again, I want to say big thanks to you all for coming. And may the Almighty God bless you richly in Jesus' name.
Please, let's give you another resounding clap. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate. Before we proceed, I want to introduce to us two other eminent personalities that are here in our midst. I have the honor and the privilege to introduce to us the Director of IPS, Institute of Petroleum Studies, Professor Apa is here in our midst. Let me also especially recognize the presence of the Deputy Registrar in charge of ACE-Puto, African Center of Excellence, that is right here in our midst, Dr. William Suwadi. Thank you very much. Let's move to the next part of the program here. May I especially, with all amounts of humility and respectfully, invite the Honorable Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, His Excellency Chief Timipre M. Silva, for a special keynote address. Please put your hands together for Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much. Please be seated. I'm not very sure about the protocols, so I will beg to stand on the protocols that have been established already, but not without especially recognizing my dear friend and brother, who happens to be the acting Vice Chancellor of the university. We used to stride the streets of the University of Patacott together in those days. And now I really wonder how it feels to be part of this system continuously from that time to now. Coming to the University of Portugal today, I can hardly find my way around. A lot of things have changed from how they used to be in those days. In those days, I don't know whether it is still called the Abuja campus, but this was called the Abuja campus. And there were about 4 hostels, I remember, 4 hostels, A, B, C, and D. And I must tell you, for the benefit of the younger people that are here, that we had a lot of fun. I am very happy to be at this epochal gathering of university dons, policy makers, industry champions, guardians, friends, and young minds that I will call the erudite graduates. I am very happy to be particularly saddled with this responsibility to give the graduation keynote address at the second graduation stroke award ceremony of the Offshore Technology Institute, University of Patacott. From inception, the University of Patacott has been very unique in many ways. Although I'm here today as Minister of Petroleum State, for me, this is homecoming. Unique, unique, unique. My erudite graduates, it is with great pleasure that I present this keynote address that will spark the process of officially ushering you into the unique Uniport Alumni Association, to which I also belong. I deliberately use the word erudite graduates in this contest because the graduates have been fortified with relevant skills and competences to act as agents of change and good ambassadors of the University of Patacott, and of course, of our great country, Nigeria. As you are aware, the oil and gas sector is the major economic lifeware of Nigeria, contributing over 80% of foreign exchange of this country. The oil and gas sector is witnessing technology evolution due to increasing migration of oil and gas production from onshore to the offshore. Furthermore, there are policy transformations in the Nigerian oil and gas sector, which has created a huge gap between skill needs and the available local skills. The Petroleum Industry Bill has a strong potential to widen this gap because the PIB will most likely create more opportunities for local players in the oil and gas sector of the country. Of course, the PIB, which has defied passage or assent for the past 20 years, is now before the National Assembly. It is my earnest hope that the PIB will be passed very soon, as promised by the National Assembly. I'm happy that some members of the National Assembly are here with us today, looking at us. Nigeria's higher educational system has a major role to play in effectively driving the development of local competencies in the oil and gas sector. I therefore titled this keynote address, the role of Nigeria higher education in building the Nigerian assets, oil and gas. Education is a continuous process that fuels national development at all levels. The socio-economic growth of any nation is therefore dependent on the effectiveness of its educational system. There is empirical evidence that positively correlates the development of nations to advance in technology, in education. Education inspires balanced judgment to support a better understanding of things around us, to change the society for the better. Education molds individuals and develops the analytical reasoning of the individuals. Education comes with lots of advantages. Namely, it illuminates a person's mind to build self-confidence. It helps students to plan for work after graduation. It helps people to feel and behave in a way that contributes to their success and improvement, not only their personal satisfaction, but also that of their community. It is therefore necessary to support all projects and policies targeting the enhancement of education at all levels in the country. In the landscape of formal education, it can be categorized into primary, secondary, and higher education. In the Nigerian context, higher education can be defined as a level of academic studies that are beyond secondary school studies. Following from this definition, Nigerian higher education comprises colleges of education, polytechnics, universities, and their equivalent. The federal government of Nigeria attaches serious importance to education at all levels and strives to place the Nigerian educational sector on a pedestal of a globally referenced educational system. To achieve this, the federal government of Nigeria created the Department of Higher Education under the Federal Ministry of Education in the year 2000, which was restructured in 2003 to accommodate all aspects of higher education to birth the Department of Tertiary Education. The Department of Tertiary Education was saddled with the responsibility of improving Nigeria's economic landscape and global competitiveness by ensuring that Nigeria's higher education of learning provides relevant and high quality education for all Nigerians. The implication is that our tertiary education institutions are positioned to attract, develop, and graduate competent, knowledgeable, and talented individuals at all times. The Department of Tertiary Education oversees parastatals responsible for tertiary education in the country, namely the National Universities Commission, the National Board for Technical Education, the National Commission for Colleges of Education, Joint Admission and Matriculation Board, Teachers Registration Council of Nigeria, Tertiary Education Trust Fund, TED Fund, which is very important to this university, from what I can see, and National Teachers Institute, Kaduna. Recently, the federal government of Nigeria, under the ruling All Progressives Congress, has renewed its commitment in all sincerity to advance higher education, especially the university system, to international standard. Please excuse me for being a little bit political. You know, the leopard cannot change his skin. To achieve this, the federal government of Nigeria vigorously promoted policies that support international autonomy, institutional autonomy, massive infrastructural development, reinforced university government to management, enhanced welfare, cordial government-university relationship, and mechanisms for quality assurance. These moves were to ignite a proactive university system that adequately responds to contemporary challenges more flexibly and responsibly, with the consequence of increasing the country's innovation capacity, entrepreneurship, and economic growth. Higher education is important to every society and the individuals that live in it. Studies have shown that higher levels of educational attainment lead to higher productivity and lower unemployment because of innovations and startups. There is a strong relationship between educational attainment and labor market outcomes, which can be attributed to the availability of skills and competencies required to drive the labor market. In higher education, the important requirement for graduation is good academic ability, namely the research experience, mastery of discipline, with the ability to apply and transfer it, writing ability, English language ability, in the case of Nigeria, breadth of perspective, laced with other soft skills, namely critical thinking, project management, time management, interpersonal relationships, etc. Nigeria is blessed with abundant natural resources, both renewable and non-renewable resources. Not until recently, the Nigerian oil and gas industry, from exploration to trading, has been absolutely dominated and controlled by the international oil companies. Nigerians were not involved in the mainstream of activities in the oil and gas industry due to the lack of competencies and equitable policies. As a first step in reducing and loosening the dominance of IOCs from the Nigerian oil and gas industry, the federal government of Nigeria in 1991 awarded onshore and offshore oil acreages to Nigerian entrepreneurs. However, the progress recorded was not adequate. According to the GDP-based research conducted in 2008, the implication was that Nigerians were still not adequately involved in the Nigerian oil and gas industry. Thus, there was an urgent need to reform the oil and gas industry to remove structural imbalances. To remove the structural imbalances in the oil and gas industry, the federal government of Nigeria enacted the Nigerian Oil and Gas Industry Content Development Act on the 22nd of April, 2010. The Comprehensive Act seeks to increase Nigerians' involvement in the oil and gas industry at all levels by prescribing a minimum threshold for the use of local services and materials and to promote the transfer of technology and skills to Nigerian staff and labor that are engaged in the oil and gas industry. The Nigerian Oil and Gas Industry Content Development Act 2010, the Local Content Act, took precedence over all other existing enactments and laws in respect of Nigerian content in the oil and gas industry. The Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board, Ncdmv, was established and vested with the responsibility to implement the provision of the Local Content Act, make procedural guidelines, and monitor compliance by operators in the oil and gas industry. Mr. Simbi Wabote is the current executive secretary of the Ncdmv. It is my belief that we are standing at the threshold of a revolution in the oil and gas sector. A combination of the Nigerian Local Content Act with the Petroleum Industry Bill, when passed, will stimulate unprecedented developments in the industry. However, critical reflection suggests that focus should be on the local development of the right skills, competences, and resources in the oil and gas industry of Nigeria. But the question is, what is the role of higher education in the provision of the right skills and competencies to build and maintain the oil and gas assets of the country? The local content policy provides a minimum threshold of Nigerian participation in the operations of oil and gas assets in the country. By the design of the local content policy, Nigerians are qualified to participate in front-end engineering, design, and detailed engineering and other engineering services, fabrication and construction, materials and procurement, well drilling services, and petroleum technology, chemical research and development services, exploration, subsurface, petroleum engineering and seismic, transportation, supply, disposal services, health services and environment, marine operations and logistics, however, etc. However, in the absence of adequate capacity in Nigeria, operators are allowed to any experts or services upon the approval of the minister, and such approval shall not exceed a minimum of 3 years. The universities and polytechnics are in the best position to provide the required expertise to drive the local content policy and the potentials in the petroleum industry bill. The National Bureau of Statistics report shows that the oil industry dominates the country's revenue sources and also accounts for a significant portion of the country's gross domestic product. However, the majority of the population have not significantly felt the impact of the country's oil and gas resources because the oil and gas industry is still not adequately domiciled. The implication is that Nigeria's higher education system should respond more than ever before to provide the skills and competences required in the areas set aside for Nigerian dominance. However, the study shows that the linkage between higher education, universities and polytechnics, and oil companies have not been properly matched to drive the Nigerian local content policy. That study shows that only about 45% of the oil companies collaborate with higher institutions in the areas of training and research. The petroleum industry bill has the potential to fuel massive participation of local players in the oil and gas sector of Nigeria. And I believe, in addition to the Nigerian local content policy, that economic growth and value addition will be visible in the oil and gas sector. However, the extent to which this impacts participation of the locals depends on sustained relevant capacity building for the oil and gas sector, which responsibility rests squarely with the Nigerian higher educational system. The impact of local content policy on local value creation has generated divergent speculation, apparently due to misaligned skills. It therefore requires that the higher institutions deliver relevant skills and competencies jointly with industry players, government, and professional bodies. I am glad that the Offshore Technology Institute, OTI, University of Patacott, has started developing the relevant skills and competencies for the oil and gas sector. I am aware that OTI Uniport is wholly a postgraduate institute that awards master's degrees in 4 programs, namely offshore engineering, pipeline engineering, subsea engineering, and energy access and renewable energy technology. Ladies and gentlemen, the University of Patacott is truly unique. I am very satisfied with the developments at the Offshore Technology Institute, and I therefore urge all reasonable persons to accord OTI all the necessary support to meet its vision. I am convinced that the graduates are industry ready. I will charge the graduates to show and utilize their skills and competences in the development of the Nigerian oil and gas sector. Once again, I wish to thank the management of the University of Patacott for the opportunity to present a keynote address in this epochal ceremony. Thank you, distinguished ladies and gentlemen.
Let's give him a resounding clap. Applause. The Honorable Minister, Petroleum Resources. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. To drive home this wonderful address, this special keynote address, we have a special group in our midst today. And this group is so great that today we are going to give them just about 5 minutes to do something very spectacular for all of us today. I am talking about Uniport Concert Chorus. They will give us a great rendition to drive home this wonderful address. As we wait for them, please let's put our hands together as we welcome on stage the University of Patacott Concert Chorus. Thank you very much. Please, let's go another big round of applause. Honorable Minister, sir, this is what we enjoy Uniports, and that is why we look so fresh. It's wonderful. And as many as we want to enjoy this, we are here to supply. God bless Uniport. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Before we proceed, let me briefly introduce to all some of the important dignitaries who are in our midst today. Let me inform us today that we also have the director, acting director, Center for Information Telecommunication Engineering, Dr. EBIT-MEDIA is also here in our midst. You're welcome. We also have the acting director, Exchange and Linkage, Dr. Eukaria is here. Let me also inform us that we also have the acting director in charge of Center for Occupational Health, Safety and Environment, Dr. John Ugwebo is here. I also like to introduce to all that the former registrar of the University of Patacott, Mrs. Matilda Ncdmv is also here. Let me also inform us here that we also have the last but not the least here, a former Deputy Vice Chancellor in charge of research and development in the University of Portugal. She is Professor Benny Willie Abe in our midst. I know she's very much around. Thank you very much. Let's quickly, oh, she's over there. Yes, she's over there. Thank you, Ma, for finding time to be here today. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. It is time for the lecture. And like we all know, we are expected to leave here by midday because the minister also have other important engagement to attend to. And here is a very special appeal. We've talked to our guest lecturer to see how you can summarize it within the next 20 minutes so that we can beat up time with all amounts of humility and respect to you, sir. Let me invite the guest lecturer to stand up for a brief citation. Immediately after the citation, he will now take over the stage. Tayo Akin-Kami is the country manager and managing director of Technic FMC Nigeria, a global leader in subsea and surface technologies for the oil and gas production system. He joined Technic FMC in 2005 as a lead product engineer, and I've held positions of increasing responsibilities in areas of design engineering, product development, field operations, business development, and general management. Prior to joining Technip FMC, he held other positions in drilling operations, manufacturing, industrial automation, and academia. Tayo holds a bachelor's degree in electrical engineering from the University of Ibadan and a master's degree in electronics and computer technology from Indiana State University, United States of America. And of course, today, the graduation and awards lecture topic is titled Energy Transition, Industry Expectations from the Academia. I hereby present to you our guest lecturer today. Please put your hands together for him.
Good morning, everyone. I've been told to compress everything, so I'm going to respect that. So for the purpose of that, I will stand on the existing protocols. But I just want to say this because it's very personal for me. Being an industry player, I know how busy the Honorable Minister of State is. His presence here alone is sanctioning what we in the industry believe to be a major issue that needs to be solved, which is having the right people, the right human resources available to us in the industry, and having, as you put it, sir, industry-ready individuals coming out to take positions that we have today and take positions that we couldn't fill. So thank you very much, sir. We appreciate your presence. When about a month ago, when Dr. Briggs asked me to make a presentation, to give a lecture today, it brought the memory of the day I presented my thesis in the university. And I couldn't say no to someone I respect. But then he assured me that I can use a PowerPoint slide, so that makes life a lot easier for me. I'm gonna try and dance through this as quickly as I can. And I also want to thank Professor Kuduju for the opportunity. Thank you very much, sir. If you can go next to the next slide. So energy transition, why do we need energy transition? What is this all about? Why do we need to change this? It's very simple. I don't know, is that PowerPoint? If you can click on the chart below on the left-hand side, this chart down. Yeah, if you can click on that, just go down a little bit. Sorry. All right. Okay, it's okay. That's fine. I'll talk through it. It's very simple. The world we live in today, it's warmer. It's getting hot, and there are changes that we all can visibly see around us. The ocean levels are rising. The ocean is getting more acidic. We've seen a lot of forest fires, and recently over in South Africa, in Cape Town, there was a massive fire that went into one of the universities, actually. And basically what it is as of today, we are about, and that's what I wanted to go into that slide, into that chart a little bit. If you can click on it, that would be great. We are 1 degree centigrade, no, 1.2 degrees centigrade above, the sea level, the seawater is 1.2 degrees centigrade above what it was in the 1970s, before the recent revolution. And the reason for that is today we have about 420 parts per minute of carbon dioxide atmosphere. And basically what that says is the things that we do, the things that support the civilization as we know it, is adding gas into pollutant gas and greenhouse gas into the atmosphere. We need to do something. Now, I want to quickly use this opportunity to kind of say this, because a lot of, the oil and gas industry has got a lot of negative press with respect to emission. But the chart above shows that everything we do today, agriculture, transportation, the internet is adding carbon dioxide, either directly or indirectly into the atmosphere. So it's not just us. But we need to fix it because the oil and gas industry is a leader in energy development, and we will remain a leader in the energy development. So we have a threshold which says by the time we get to 2 degrees above the seawater level temperature today, as of 1970, I should say, we will not be able to sustain our environment as we know it. Some areas of the world will not be livable anymore. We will have hurricanes, more and more hurricanes, and tropical storms and stuff like that. So, as of today, okay, we are generating about 60,000 terawatt of energy worldwide. It's projected that that is going to be around 100,000 terawatt. Now, the change that we need is not energy. It's not energy shortage. What we're trying to do is to transform into a situation where we're able to supply that energy need and still be able to live in our environment the way we found it. So the imperative is really strong, and we need to do something. The good thing is that we can actually get to a place where in 2050, we will be carbon neutral. But we need to combine several things. One of them, obviously, in a lot of players in the industry, there's been divestment of fund from oil and gas. Yeah, that's probably going to cost a little bit of a difference, but it's just 1%. So if we're going to go from having over 80 billion or 450 parts per minute down to where we have neutral carbon into the atmosphere, we need to do other things. One of them is we need to ramp up the renewable energies, right? So we're talking about the wind farms, we're talking about solar, we're talking about thermal, geothermal, we're talking about all the areas where we can generate electricity outside of fossil fuel. But what I wanted to point out though is, if you can go back to the previous slide, please. All right, next one. Now, go back. Sorry. All right. One, go two. There you go. On the lower left, on the lower right-hand side, are items that we're looking at that will help us get back to where we want to go. However, I want to point out the next one, which I think is a major impact. So we have 18% to ramp up renewable energy sources. But when you go to the next level, the 24%, which is much higher, is converting coal to gas. For those of us in the industry, you know that the Honorable Minister has spent a lot of his political energy and capital into gas development in the country. There's a reason for that. So this year, this decade has now been declared as the decade of gas for the country. That is because if we're able to switch from coal to gas, we will be able to reduce the emission by up to 24%. The other aspect I want to talk about kind of briefly is the carbon offset and carbon capture, which is, well, as we generate electricity, as we generate power, we are able to then capture the carbon. Instead of letting it go into the atmosphere, we will be able to then capture it, either store it or repurpose it to do other things in the other part of the industries. So this is really exciting stuff. Next slide. Going on. I just want to talk quickly about the journey that we are right now. First thing we need to understand, and it's really important that we note this, that the environment and social governance commitment of several companies, including ours, is to reduce the carbon footprint of what we do. My organization, for instance, has a target to reduce 50%, by 50%, the emission that we have in our, what we call the scope 1 and scope 2, which is the operation that is within our control and the operation that supports what we do directly. And to be able to do that, we focus on bigger bang for money. If you can just scroll down a little bit. One of them is offshore wind. Now, again, OTI, deep water. We realize that wind farms on land is not optimal. So we have to go further deep, which goes again to what we talked about, Dr. Biggs, is we need to repurpose the technology we've had. So a direct message to all the graduates, the skills you have learned will not go unneeded. The gas, I mentioned that we still need gas, right? And I also mentioned that offshore wind. So everything you learned about subsea will still be applicable, all right? In addition to that, if you can zoom out of me for me, thank you very much. We are looking at hydrogen as another field. Again, we can do this offshore. We can do this with the existing technologies that we have, where we need to improve it, and I'm going to get to that. I mentioned gas to coal, wave and current energy. Another aspect is the fact that the industry is focusing now on electrifying the fields. What that does is it makes our equipment much more efficient. Oh, and as a matter of fact, we can generate the power that we need to run our vessels, our rigs, our platforms right there from the waves and the wind offshore. I don't know if you can get that concept. It's a really big concept, I can assure you. And that in itself will reduce our carbon footprint for the benefit of everyone. And then I talk about carbon capture. There are quite a lot of initiatives going on to capture the carbon dioxide. One is to sort of limit it, probably to just burn it in a way where there's no nitrogen byproduct, and also to be able to capture it and repurpose it. There's companies now that are looking at using carbon dioxide, cement companies using carbon dioxide to cure the cement process instead of using much more energy demanding alternatives. Having said that, I want to just do one quick one and say, next slide, we are struggling. Okay, the transition is still struggling, and that's going to lead me into what we can use from the academia. So I'll just talk a little bit about some of the major ones. We know wind is very intermittent. There's a problem there. The next thing then is, what about the batteries? Well, the batteries are they're not efficient just yet. We can improve on them. We can get more batteries that are different chemistries and have higher power density. There are areas there. Hydrogen generation is still requires a lot of energy and requires desalination, so we can improve on it. The distance to consumers, which takes us back to materials that we use for everything we do today. And I think that is one of the things that I would like to drive through to the academia is we can optimize. We still have a lot of space to go as humans. So the industry will be relying on the academia for that. Composite materials that makes it easy for us to build things and they're not that heavy, right? Superconductors allow us to transmit electricity more efficiently. Efficiency of the turbines is an area to look at. How do we treat the pollutant gases in an energy efficient way? And our infrastructures, I think this is an issue for us in Nigeria, obviously, but worldwide, we need to upgrade our infrastructures, the grid, to where it's, let's call it smart. So we can reduce and manage quite closely how much electricity we use or we waste, as you probably should put it. And more importantly, I know the minister will appreciate this. We as an industry have been demonized, right? But we need honest people to talk about these issues in a broader way, to make sure that the world is focusing on don't just kill fossil fuel. That's not how to get there. Don't kill oil and gas. You're gonna need us. You're gonna need the gas. You're gonna need the oil. The solution is a lot bigger. We need independent people to moderate that discussion. Next slide, please. All right, so what do we need? What do we as industry need from you, the academia? First one, this is what we're doing today. We're building the leaders. We're building the doers, right? So that's one. We need to keep the curriculum very, very relevant. A friend of mine last week asked me, when was the last time you used the integral equation? Like, I don't remember, because I have a calculator, right? I'm not saying math is not, of course, we need to learn it, but it's even more important to practicalize and not try to build from the basic principles. Just like when I was in the college in the 90s, we didn't use slide rules, right, sir? I don't know if you use it, but we did not use the slide rules. I know people use the slide rules, we use calculators. But now, we need to upgrade our curriculum. I think it's a very good information to pass on. The other part of it is to encourage curiosity. So one of the things that I'm really, really proud to see, not in our industry, but in the fintech industry, is that, and if you've been paying attention, there are many young Nigerians that are coming out and creating their own startup. These are the kind of things that we need to gear our graduates for. And the minister also mentioned that with respect to being able to get people that are to be curious and learn and think outside the box. And then, of course, technology-based innovation, that's got to be the basis for the work that we give to our students or for the focus of the studies that we encourage them into. If you zoom back into the middle, all right, so truth said, so the academia has access to research facilities or should have access to research facilities. And those facilities are very important. Why?
trying to focus on work. You guys are learning and writing tests and stuff. My hat's off for you. Congratulations. So, as I always say, some of you are going to end up being my boss. Some of you are going to end up being my customers. Some of you are going to end up being the regulators in my industry. All I want to say is please remember me as the nice guy that came for a graduation. I honestly wish you all the best. And again, if I haven't addressed this in everything I've said, there's a lot of anxiety about job and applicability of your skills and all that. The minister mentioned the PIB. We are waiting for that. And with the focus on gas development, not just gas development, it's the whole concept of gas development, gas usage, the fiscal policy that improves that, the infrastructures. I think a lot of opportunities await you, ladies and gentlemen. And I honestly wish you the best of luck. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. He started exactly 11:20 and he ended within 20 minutes. It's so apt. So apt. When he was giving the concluding speech, I was praying in my heart that please let him not exceed so I can say good things about him. Thank you so much. You did wonderfully well. You're a complete gentleman. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Because of time, we are going to give a special dance group here 3 minutes to do a special presentation for us. Then after that, the next voice will be here with that of the voice of the Director of Academic Affairs for his special program. So let's invite this wonderful group. The name is Thespians Cultural Dance of Uniport, and your time starts now. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. Let's clap for them so that we go. Okay, dance out. Thank you. Dance out. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Let's give a big round of applause. Thank you so much. Thank you. You know, we are rich in culture. And of course, the space is not large enough. So we're sorry for a little discomfort, but I hope we had a wonderful time together. Thank you so much. May I especially at this point in time invite the Director Academic Affairs, Dr. Ataga, to please come forward for a special recognition. Please, let's give him a big round of applause, please. That is item number 10.
Thank you very much, the Honorable Minister, my Acting Vice Chancellor. May I please stand on the already established protocol? I have been asked to please request the graduating students to stand for recognition. The graduating students, please. On behalf of the Vice Chancellor, the Registrar, and your lecturers, the Dean School of Graduate Studies, I wish to congratulate you on the completion of your program. And I want you to do 2 things now, or 3. You're going to take a bow. The minister, the Honorable Minister has said that the university is a major stakeholder in your training. Even the lecturer has also said the same thing. And so you're going to recognize those who have made you what you are and what you will be in future. You're going to take the first bow to the Honorable Minister at the count of 3. 1, 2, 3, take a bow. To your Vice Chancellor, who has, with the help of the council and management of the university, provided the enabling environment for you to have your studies in a conducive environment. We took a physical tour of your classrooms today, and I was envying you because at the time I graduated in 1986, we didn't have half of the facilities you have. Could you please take a bow to the Vice Chancellor and the management of the university? And then to the Dean School of Graduate Studies and your lecturers, you're going to take a final bow. 1, 2, 3, go. Thank you very much. The director will at this time take over for the awards. Could you please call out names of the graduating students in a special order, at least for the best graduating student to be recognized? And I want to please, on behalf of the Vice Chancellor, request that the BGS takes his or her speech in less than 5 minutes. Thank you very much. I'm done.
Okay, I want to especially at this point in time invite the Acting Vice Chancellor to please step forward, sir. Please, can you just turn around and look at the student, please? Please, proudly uniform. Their physical structure shows that they are proudly from University of Patacott. Thank you. Have your seat. So the Acting Vice Chancellor will do a special presentation to the minister. Then thereafter we proceed. Thank you.
May I kindly request the presence of my friend, my brother, the minister, to kindly step forward and receive an award. Honorable Minister, you know, we're just having a conversation a while ago, maybe about 30-something years ago. When we were striding around this campus, we never knew we were going to play this show someday. but here we are, and for the very exemplary support it's given to this university, and we continue to give to this university. And the fact that they have really insisted that you are going to see the graduate school site before you leave here today. On behalf of management, staff, and students of the University of Patacott, we present you this modest gift. What? To know what it is. You can see it's Tampapu. We made it Tampapu. This is a life-size portrait of the other minister. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you very much. I want to especially at this point in time invite Emuche Chinere Uchechi, the best graduating student, to please step forward. May I respectfully invite the acting vice chancellor to invite the minister for the special award to the best graduating student.
Your Excellency, once more, it is my pleasure to invite you to present this special award to the best graduating student.
Emuche Chinere Uchechi, for being the overall best graduating student for the 2019-2020 academic session. Congratulations.
Your Excellency, it's equally my pleasure to invite the best supporting industry partner, Technip FMC, to receive an award.
He wasn't expecting that.
Technip FMC, for being the best industrial partner, helped Oti to succeed the COVID-19 pandemic. Congratulations.